The first movement that we will look at is called an arabesque in dance and a spiral in figure skating. These moves are completed very similarly in relation to center of gravity, lateral rotation of legs, and plantar flexion of extended leg. The center of gravity must be over the ball of the supporting leg. The ball of the foot is the padded area behind the toes. Lowering of the chest is important to shift the center of gravity back by shifting the hips back. By shifting your center of gravity, you are assisting in balance.
A difference between an arabesque and a spiral is that in a spiral, your hip flexion and leg extension happen simultaneously, while an arabesque begins with the leg extension and then adds the hip flexion. These movements create hyperextension of the spine. This creates a bending load with the tension on the front of the body and the compression on the back. Another similarity is that there is a lateral rotation of the extended leg starting at the hip. This rotation is called turning out. Both the arabesque and spiral have plantar flexion of the extended leg. The difference with the supporting leg in an arabesque is that there must be turnout, whereas figure skating, their foot points in the direction the individual is moving.
The range of motion in your joint, especially the hip, must be above average in order to extend the leg behind you with the correct technique. To gain this range of motion, proper stretching must be worked up to.
That doesn't get any better than that. It's just breathtaking, these positions. It's perfection.
That's where a catch foot works, because she lets it go and the leg stays in exactly the same position.
Keep that shape, keep that shape, keep that shape. Right. Now straighten and do an elevate. And 6. And lower.
A forward inside twizzle and figure skating and an outside pirouette and dance are the second pair of movements that are very similar in motion. A twizzle and a pirouette are both turns in linear and angular motion on the floor and on the ice. The twizzle and pirouette are similar in techniques such as torque, pressure, and the axis of rotation.
Next, we'll have Amy do a double pirouette, a little deeper plie, a little harder push, and 2 spots of the head. Next, a triple pirouette, 3 spots of the head, go around on 1, 2, 3. And finally, for the more advanced dancer, a quad pirouette, spotting 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Torque is the force that starts the rotation in order to complete both movements. The shoulders, hips, and legs helps to start these rotations. Newton's first law of motion, the law of inertia, states an object in motion will remain in motion unless a force acts upon it. The torque is the force acting on it. Torque causes you to move around the axis of rotation because both these actions are moving linearly. Therefore, the axis of rotation moves with the person. Pressure is the force per unit area over which the force acts. This is important because the correct amount of pressure needs to be exerted in order to complete the rotation.
The coefficient of friction is another force acting against the rotation. The coefficient of friction on the ice is much lower than the coefficient of friction on the floor. Tension is the pulling or stretching force directed axially through the body. To complete the twizzle and pirouette, you must push down in your lower body and stretch up in your upper body in order to complete the turn with proper technique.
Well, I've found I'm scared to know I'm always on your mind. Well, even the best fall down sometimes. None of the back you fall in time. I somehow find you and I collide. don't stop here. And I lost my place, and I'm close behind. Well, even the best fall down sometimes, and even the wrong words seem to rhyme. And out of the doubt that fills your mind, you finally find you and
The last movements we are going to cover are the Russian split jump in figure skating and the spinning side Russian in dance. In both of these movements, the person jumps, splits their legs 180 degrees, and then lands on one foot. Because of the nature of both takeoffs, there is angular motion involved. The angular motion begins as the dancer or skater leaves the floor or ice. Angular motion allows the individual to rotate 1/2 time around themselves while in the air.
Moment of inertia is applied in these elements because a skater or dancer leaves their arms extended during this jump. They increase their moment of inertia, allowing them more time in the air to achieve the full Russian split position. The distance K from the hip to the ankle does not change because the legs remain fully extended, also allotting for more time to achieve the position. Angular momentum can also be used to achieve the full split.
Impulse is important in both elements. A dancer bends their knees more prior to takeoff, increasing the force that is produced when they jump and extend their legs. A skater relies on impulse once they pick their toe pick. Once they pick, they then draw their supporting leg back to their extended leg. This increases the time over which the force is applied, creating a larger impulse.
Both of these jumps, the Russian split jump and the spinning side Russian, are projectiles. The forces that apply to these projectiles are weight, normal force, the horizontal force, friction, and the vertical force, air resistance. In order to increase the time in the air, it is ideal to take off from a 45-degree angle. In dance, this is not the case. Because of technical correctness in not wanting one's jump to travel across the floor, their angle is usually larger in order to achieve the maximum height. In figure skating, maximum height is also important. Increasing height will increase air time. Therefore, the angle at which a figure skater takes off is also greater than 45 degrees. A dancer has to be aware of their angular velocity prior to takeoff. This is important because of the spinning motion. The faster they are spinning, the larger their moment of inertia is going to be.
The range of motion of the hip joints is very important in performing either of these moves. Since it is expected that 100 degrees or greater is achieved in the split position, one must have above average range of motion in their hips. This motion also requires muscle strength. Many can be flexible, but it is difficult to achieve the level of strength needed to lift one's legs that high in such a short amount of time.
It is important here that there is a lateral rotation of one's legs as the split is achieved. If not, the element is not technically correct. Pointing the toes up will help keep the rib cage and upper body erect.
Successful triple loop jump. All in here, of course, attempting to reach for the Raptors with their spiral sequence extensions.
Her second triple Lutz is planned right here. And yes, she is so on.
And a triple Salchow. And although there is not a point opportunity in place, I believe the ISU should consider a bonus point for any skater who successfully completes all of the triple jumps. With 7 triples in the book, she has one final jump window here. Double axel, double toe, double loop. They're getting to their feet.
Kenny Mize.
If I should be so bold, I'd ask you to hold my heart in your hand. Tell you from the start how I long to be your man. But I never said a word, I guess I'm gonna miss my chance again. Well, all I really wanna do is love you. I can't much closer than friends, but I still can't say it after all we've been through. And all I really want from you is to feel me, as the feeling inside keeps building. And I will find a way to you if it kills me, if it kills me, if it kills me. I think it might kill me. And all I really want from you is to feel me. It's a feeling inside that keeps building. And I will find a way to you if it kills me. If it kills me, it might kill me.